You arrive just as the first raindrops begin to fall. It is not a dramatic downpour, nor a sudden torrent of storm. Rather, the rain begins as a hush like nature clearing its throat, preparing for something gentle and sacred. A slow rhythm unfolds. Across the roof above you, a tap-tap-tapping that grows steadier with every breath you take. You are standing on the covered porch of a secluded forest cabin. The wood beneath your bare feet is warm and smooth, having been polished over time by the soft passage of countless mornings like this one. A blanket is wrapped around your shoulders, woven thick with wool and the faint scent of lavender. The edges tickle your fingertips. Its embrace is like a memory you had forgotten you needed. The air is damp with the fresh promise of rain, and it carries with it the earthy perfume of wet bark, of soil warmed by the earlier sun, of moss and leaf and thyme. It smells like the breath of the forest itself, alive, ancient, and utterly at peace. Before you, the world opens in every direction with green. The trees are tall and wise, their trunks textured with lines of lichen and stories you will never need to decipher. Their canopies stretch high, and in the spaces between leaves, glimmers of soft gray sky peek through, pale light diffused into a halo of calm. The sound of the rain deepens. Now. It strikes the ferns that stretch toward your porch, creating a patter like fingertips on silk. It pools into tiny depressions in the stone path leading to the woods, forming mirrored puddles that ripple softly as drops kiss their surfaces. You watch one puddle tremble, then calm again, over and over, like the exhale of someone deep in meditation. Behind you, the cabin sighs. The old wood creaks, not in protest, but in recognition, like an old friend shifting to welcome you. You turn slightly and glance inside through the open door. The interior is dim and golden, lit only by the soft flicker of a single oil lamp on the far wall. Its glow casts dancing shadows onto bookshelves, a worn armchair, a low table where a mug of tea waits for your hands. But for now, you stay on the porch. The outside air is cooler than the room behind you, but it doesn't chill you. Instead, it wakes you slowly. The breeze lifts strands of your hair and traces its way around the back of your neck. It feels as though the forest is reaching out to greet you. No urgency, no expectation. Just presence, somewhere to your right. Beyond the edge of the trees, a bird sings. The melody is not bright or urgent. It is low and curious, as if it too is listening to the rain, as if it has only just awakened and wants to be certain this moment is not a dream. Another bird responds, and the two sounds cross paths in the hush between droplets, weaving a soft and simple music that seems to rise from the soil itself. Sit down on the edge of the porch, letting your legs dangle just above the damp earth below. Your fingertips brush the rim of the blanket. You lean back, resting your weight on your palms, and tilt your face upward. The rain does not reach you here, but you feel it in everything. The smell, the sound, the way the air holds its breath between drops. Time begins to slip away, not vanish, but soften. Moments stop marching. They begin to meander, like the rainwater flowing now in tiny rivulets beside the moss-covered stones. You let go of whatever time once meant. The morning isn't passing. It's stretching. It's unfolding. It's inviting you to breathe with it. And so, you do. Inhale. You draw in the scent of damp pine needles and the faint trace of cinnamon from the tea behind you. You feel the breath reach all the way to your toes. You feel it wrap around your ribs and hold you gently from the inside. Exhale. The world does not shift or change, but you soften inside it. You melt into the space where rain meets roof, where air meets skin, where thought gives way to silence. The forest listens with you. You notice the subtler sounds now. The delicate ping of droplets striking the iron lantern hanging from a beam. Above, the soft rustle of leaves whispering to each other far overhead. The way the blanket's threads rub faintly together as you move. Each sound is a thread, and you are woven into them. You lie back on the porch now, the blanket spread beneath you. The wood is solid beneath your shoulder blades, and yet it welcomes your weight. Your limbs feel heavier, not tired, not burdened, but grounded, anchored, as though the cabin itself has offered you permission to rest. Asterisk. And just before your eyes drift closed, you see something extraordinary. Not with your eyes, but with that part of you that remembers. Stories from before you had words. You see the rain become more than weather. It becomes a language. It speaks not in sentences, but in rhythm. Not in ideas, but in comfort. It tells you that you are safe, that the trees will keep standing, that the cabin will remain warm, that nothing is asked of you now but stillness. You surrender to it. The sky opens a little more, and the rain begins to fall with a steadier hum. But even as the sound deepens, your body loosens. Your thoughts grow dim. Your breath finds a slow and sleepy rhythm to follow. And just before your mind begins to wander into dreams, you whisper one final thank you to the forest, to the rain, to this morning that does not rush. And the rain replies, "You're welcome." Awaken not with a start, but with the soft curiosity of a leaf turning beneath a breeze. Time has not passed in a linear way. It has shifted like mist, curling gently through the cracks of your memory. The rain has softened, falling now in a rhythm so gentle it seems to whisper rather than fall. You are still wrapped in your blanket, your body resting on the porch of the forest cabin, but something inside you has shifted. You feel called inward. You rise slowly, not with urgency, but as if each motion is part of a silent ritual. Your feet step lightly onto the smooth wooden floor of the porch, and you turn toward the open door of the cabin. Warmth greets you like an old friend. Not heat, but presence. An enveloping stillness that invites you to step across its threshold and become a part of it. The cabin holds its breath with you. Its walls are built of thick cedar logs, their grain softened by time and the stories of quiet visitors like yourself. You step inside, and the wooden floor beneath your soles creaks just enough to greet you, not loudly, but in a way that says, "I see you." The scent is a mixture of old wood, beeswax, and something faintly sweet, perhaps dried herbs resting on a shelf nearby. A single candle flickers atop a table near the window, its flame bowing with the sigh of air that follows you through the door. Light dances across the room, warm and honeyed, painting gold upon every surface it touches. To your left, a wide armchair wrapped in woolen throws waits beside a stone hearth. The fire inside is not large, but it is steady. Its embers glow like the breath of the earth itself, slow and dependable. Flames lick upward with the grace of dancers, casting moving shadows across the warm rug beneath your feet. The sound is a soft crackle, interspersed with occasional hisses, as moisture from the wood escapes into the air. It does not demand your attention. It soothes you with its presence. You sink into the armchair. The cushion beneath you molds to your shape with quiet understanding, as if hundreds before you have curled here in the same search for stillness. A woolen throw slides across your lap, its texture both coarse and tender. You let it rest there, grounding you as you sink deeper into the chair's embrace. The window beside you reveals the rain continuing its graceful descent. Droplets run in slender trails down the pane, catching the lamplight and turning it to diamonds. Beyond the glass, the forest stretches in soft focus leaves shimmering, trunks dark and rooted, everything cloaked in silver-gray mist. It feels like you are looking into a memory rather than a view. You take a breath. Inhale. The warmth of the fire, the scent of the herbs, the closeness of wool against your skin. Exhale. The weight of expectations, of time, of all the thoughts that once buzzed in the back of your mind like summer flies. You feel them fall away, one by one, like leaves released by wind. Your gaze drifts upward to the shelves lining the walls. They are filled not with trophies or trinkets, but with quiet things, books with cracked spines and faded covers. Smooth. Stones. Bundles of dried lavender. A carved wooden bird, perched as if mid-song. Everything here tells you, this is a place where doing is not required, only being. Asterisk, a small kettle sits atop the hearth. You watch as steam curls from its spout, slow and spiraling, like a daydream stretching its arms. The scent of chamomile reaches you. You imagine pouring the tea its warmth cradling your hands. The cup heavy and ceramic, its rim touching your lips as you drink in the silence. There is no need to move yet. The chair holds you. The room listens. The fire speaks in crackles and sighs. You close your eyes and allow your senses to reach outward. You hear the rain on the sillana's roof, a rhythmic lullaby. You feel the wool on your skin, gentle, textured, steady. You smell the fire. The herbs, the ancient timber that has held stories long before yours. You taste the breath of stillness, warm and slow, as it lingers on your tongue. And you imagine that somewhere deep within the wood of the cabin, there is a heartbeat, not your own, not the fire's, but the cabin's, a pulse as old as the trees that made it. It beats in time with the rain, with the breath of the forest, with the rhythm of the earth. You match its tempo without trying. No thoughts, no planning, no questions. Just the moment, expanding and breathing with you. And then, like a tide pulling you inward, sleep begins to return. Not the deep sleep of forgetting, but the half-sleep of peace. The one that lets you hover between wakefulness and dreaming, where your thoughts are soft and slow and everything is bathed in amber. You stay in the chair. The fire flickers beside. The rain keeps singing. The cabin, the woods, the world, they do not ask you to move. They do not ask you to think. They only ask you to rest, and so you do. You awaken gently, not from noise or motion, but as if summoned by the softest whisper of possibility. The rain has grown lighter now, still present, still rhythmic, but quieter, like it knows you're listening. The fire in the hearth continues its patient dance, casting warm amber onto the floorboards. The chair beneath you is a cradle of comfort, and the woolen throw still rests across your lap like a hush. But something in you stirs an impulse, not of urgency, but of curiosity. Your eyes drift across the room. There, beyond the stone hearth and the table with the flickering candle, a narrow hallway stretches into the heart of the cabin. It isn't dark. It glows with a soft, golden light, as though the walls themselves remember sunrises long past and now gently release their warmth. The air holds the scent of aged paper, dried thyme, and sandalwood. You rise slowly from the chair. Your feet meet the wooden floor like a second heartbeat. Each step you take is soundless, yet meaningful, as though the house welcomes each moment of your presence. You pass beneath a low arch of timber, your hand brushing against its smooth curve. The grain of the wood is warm, almost pulsing. It feels alive, like it remembers every hand that has ever touched it. You enter a room unlike any other dot. It is the cabin's heart, yet it breathes with the spirit of a cathedral. Tall shelves line the walls from floor to ceiling, each filled with books not pristine or identical, but each worn uniquely, each spine a different tone of fading leather or softened linen. They curve gently with age, like trees leaning toward one another in conversation. No title shouts for your attention. Instead, they all whisper. The ceiling above you slopes upward, following the natural curve of the timber frame. There are skylights small, square windows through which the pale light of the rainy day slips and pools in quiet puddles on the floor. Dust particles drift in the beams like falling stars, slow and aimless. A single rug stretches down the center of the room, woven in hues of forest moss and river stone. Your feet sink into it. There is no hurry, no destination. You walk slowly, as if your presence is an offering dot to your left. A low table holds a teapot and a ceramic cup waiting. Steam curls gently from the spout, the scent delicate and floral perhaps. Rose or chamomile kissed by mint. You pour a cup. The sound of the liquid filling the vessel is soft and satisfying. You bring it to your lips and take a sip dot. It warms you from the inside. Like memory dot, your fingers drift across the spines of books as you walk past. Some are thin and delicate, their covers stitched by hand. Others are thick and heavy, their edges softened by use. You select one that feels just right, not for any reason, not for any logic, but because your hand pauses there. You sit on a wide window bench. The cushion is firm but welcoming, the linen cool beneath you. Outside, the forest remains cloaked in mist, the trees standing in patient stillness. You open the book. There is no title page, no author, no introduction, just a single sentence. You are the keeper of stillness. You breathe in. The words are not a command, but a gift. The pages that follow are blank, not empty, but ready. The kind of blank that invites, not the kind that demands. As you run your fingers over the creamy paper, you imagine stories already written, not in ink, but in sensation. Your mind begins to wander not in frantic leaps, but in slow arcs, like birds gliding above a calm sea. You think of places you've never seen, but somehow remember. A meadow bathed in lavender light, a path paved with moonstones, the quiet rhythm of waves against a shore that knows your name, and you realize this library is not for reading. It's for remembering, not facts, but feelings. Not information, but invitation. You set the book down open. You lean back into the window bench and close your eyes. Your cup rests in your hand. The library breathes with you. You hear the creak of the wood, the occasional patter of rain above, and the sound of pages fluttering somewhere in the distance, as if turned by an unseen hand. Your thoughts do not drift far. They settle like leaves upon water. You imagine yourself as part of this place, your body the shape of the chair, your breath matching the rise and fall of the fire's glow. You are no longer visitor, no longer outsider. You are the silence. Between sentences, the warmth between walls. A soft bell chimes somewhere. Not loud, not jarring, just a single note, pure and round. It resonates through the wood and settles in your chest. You do not look for its source. You do not need to dot. Is the sound of being welcomed, not of belonging, of rest. You let your breath slow, your mind loosen. You do not need to remember anything. You do not need to plan. You only need to be. And so, within the heart of the cabin, in a library of quiet echoes, you let yourself drift. You are not falling asleep. You are simply returning. You awaken as if from a dream, yet you've not truly slept. Time inside the cabin moves not in hours or minutes, but in sensations, waves of stillness, pulses of calm. You rise from the library window bench with the grace of a leaf lifting in a breeze. Outside, the rain has paused, as if the clouds themselves needed to exhale. You step into the hallway once more, and this time your hand follows the wooden wall, warm beneath your fingertips. The hallway leads to another door, arched and slightly open, inviting without urgency. Through the crack, you glimpse green. You push the door gently and step outside. Before you lies a garden. Not a garden of neat rows or trimmed hedges, but a place that feels like the earth's own lullaby. Wildflowers sway in unison with the breeze, bluebells, lavender, soft tufts of wild chamomile. The grass is tall and golden at its tips, whispering in secret language as you walk barefoot upon it. Asterisk, the soil beneath your feet is cool and tender, like velvet kissed by dew. To your left, a stone path winds lazily through the garden, each step a rounded, moss-covered memory. You follow it not because it leads anywhere, but because walking it feels like a blessing. Tiny mushrooms nestle beside the stones, their caps glistening with the last of the rain. The sun is not overhead, it is diffuse, woven through the clouds like threads of pale silk. The air is thick with the scent of earth and blossom, and something. You can't name something that reminds you of early mornings long before memory, of something forgotten and kind. Birdsong returns, not in chorus, but in conversation. Soft, melodic notes drift from unseen branches. You pause beneath a weeping willow, its tendrils like curtains of green. You brush one aside and step within. The inside of the tree is a sanctuary. Here, time feels even slower. The air is cooler, and the ground is covered in soft moss. You sit, cross-legged, as a child might beneath a secret fort. Light filters and dapples through the leaves above, flickering like thoughts just out of reach. You close your eyes. The garden speaks, but not in words. It hums in the warmth of the wind across your skin, in the way your breath feels deeper here, fuller. You feel your heartbeat, not as a sound, but as a rhythm, syncing with the rustle of leaves. And in that rhythm, you begin to dream while awake. Imagine a fox slipping silently through the grass, its fur a shimmer of russet and cream. You imagine deer stepping softly between trees, pausing to look at you, not with fear, but with understanding. You imagine a bee circling your shoulder, buzzing a note that somehow feels like a song you once knew. You lean back against the willow's trunk. It holds you like an old friend. The bark is rough but kind, firm but forgiving. You feel rooted, not trapped, but grounded. The garden does not ask anything of you. Asterisk, it does not need you to prune or plant or name the flowers. It asks only your stillness, your witnessing, your breath. You lie down on the moss, It cradles your spine. The scent of the earth rises loamy, alive, and slightly sweet. Overhead, the branches sway, their leaves whispering lullabies only the sky understands. A butterfly lands near your hand. You do not move. Its wings open and close slowly, like a book being read by the breeze. You imagine it telling stories of distant blossoms, of rain puddles kissed by moonlight, of naps taken on petals. Your mind begins to loosen again, like a ribbon unwinding. You are not thinking, not remembering, not planning. You are simply feeling. The warmth of the sun on your cheek, the coolness of the moss beneath your fingertips, the soft pressure of air against your closed eyelids. In the distance, a wind chime sings a gentle scale, the kind that doesn't call, but comforts. It blends with the bird song, the breeze, the beating of your heart. Everything begins to sound. Like everything else, merging into one single, endless hush. You don't need to get up. You don't need to go anywhere. The garden between dreams is not a place you pass through. It is a place you return to. A place that remembers you, even when you forget yourself. And so you remain, lying beneath the willow, breathing with the earth. Being nothing and everything. You remain in the garden until the sun, gentle and honeyed, begins its descent beyond the hills. The light changes, softening further, turning from silver white to shades of amber and rose. Shadows stretch longer across the garden path, and somewhere deep in your chest, you feel the garden's quiet invitation. It's time to walk. Again, you rise slowly, as if waking from a dream within a dream. The moss beneath you gives one final cushion of farewell, and the willow's branches sway gently, as though brushing you with a blessing. You follow the stone path once more, barefoot and unhurried. It curves around the garden's edge, then opens to a narrow wooden bridge arched over a stream. The stream gurgles in laughter as it flows beneath, its crystal clear water catching the last of the golden sunlight like scattered coins. On the far side of the bridge, a lantern waits. It is not lit, but it glows faintly, perhaps from the touch of the fading sun, or perhaps from something within. You pick it up. The metal is warm, like the hands of someone who has been waiting for you. The handle fits your grip perfectly. There is no match, no flame, yet the lantern begins to glow brighter the longer you hold it. It pulses with your heartbeat. It knows you. With the lantern guiding your steps, you follow the path deeper, into the forest. The trees grow taller here, their branches arching overhead like cathedral ceilings. The air is cooler now, kissed by dusk, and filled with the scent of pine, damp leaves, and something sweet, perhaps night-blooming jasmine. You breathe it in, slowly, allowing your chest to fill, your shoulders to loosen. Each step you take seems to float. Your feet barely press into the earth. The lantern's glow spills across the path in soft halos, lighting the ferns and low brush, revealing tiny insects dancing in the beams. Fireflies rise from the undergrowth, blinking their silent hello. And then you hear it, the softest lapping of water. A lake. You reach a clearing, and the trees fall away, opening to a wide, glimmering body of water. The lantern lake. It mirrors the sky so perfectly that it feels as if the stars are beneath you as well as above. The water is still, interrupted only by the occasional ripple, perhaps a fish turning in sleep, or the sigh of the wind. You step to the edge and sit. The shore is made of smooth, flat stones, worn round by time and tide. You set the lantern beside you, and its light joins the reflection on the lake's surface. As if another moon had joined the night dot, the silence here is vast and soft. You close your eyes. The cool air moves across your skin like silk, and your breath deepens, slows. In your mind, images rise and dissolve like mist. A mountain you once dreamed of, the scent of old books, a hand you once held, a laugh that echoed through time. None of them demand anything. They come and go like the lakes. Ripples. The stars begin to appear one by one, then all at once. They blink softly in the sky above, then echo below, the lake holding their shimmering reflections like ancient secrets. You lie back on the stones, their warmth still lingering from the sun. The lantern's light becomes your own little constellation. Beside you, your body becomes weightless. You feel each part of yourself slowly dissolve into the stillness dot, first your toes, then your legs, your arms, your back. Your head sinks into the stone like a pebble finding its home. And finally, even. Your thoughts become vapor, rising into the star-strewn sky. You do not sleep. You drift, held by the lake, held by the night, held by the quiet knowledge that there is nowhere to be, nothing to do, no one to become. You already are. A star in the lake, a breath in the forest, glow in the garden between dreams. The wind carries a lullaby across the water. Asterisk, you do not need to understand the words. You already know the melody. The world has grown still, not in the way of absence, but in fullness. A completeness that arrives when nothing more needs to be said. And yet, something gentle still invites you forward. You rise, not with motion, but with feeling. The lake remains behind you, its surface now indistinguishable from the stars above, forming a seamless dome of light and hush. Your lantern floats beside you, no longer needing to be carried. It hovers at shoulder height, casting a soothing glow ahead, as if guiding you toward one final place, a destination not bound by distance, but by readiness. You follow. The path is not marked by stones, nor earth, nor trees. It is formed from silence itself. Each step is a breath. Each breath is a soft step forward. And yet you are moving, weightless, without hurry, toward something that has always waited for you. Ahead, the air begins to shimmer. It's not cold. It's not warm. It is the temperature of memory, familiar, soft, and safe. You pass through it like a curtain of gentle light, and there it is. A circular room carved not from stone, but from dream. The walls pulse gently, like the inside of a seashell when pressed against your ear. They curve inward, encasing you in a perfect nest of peace. The floor is made of woven cloudlight, soft beneath your feet. There is no ceiling-only sky. In the center of the chamber floats a bed. Not a bed as you've known it, but a cradle of light and comfort. It sways slightly, inviting you to rest. Around it, tiny stars drift slowly, blinking in rhythms that match your breath. They do not fall. They orbit. The dream keeper is here, but not as a figure, not as someone watching you. Dream keeper is the room itself, the hush in the air, the steady glow, the feeling of being profoundly known and profoundly safe. You move toward the cradle and ease into it. There is no resistance, no need to adjust your position. The shape of the bed meets you perfectly, as if it remembers your form from 1,000 sleeps before this one. A hush settles. Deeper into the room, even the stars dim slightly. their glow now warm and slow, like candlelight seen through closed eyes. You feel it in your body, first your limbs. Once filled with wandering energy, now release it back to the air. Your muscles soften, surrendering not to gravity, but to permission. You do not need to hold yourself. You are being held. Your thoughts, once bright like fireflies, begin to slow. They blink less often, then gently fade. Not gone, just resting each. Breath you take now feels like a descent not downward, but inward. Into the quiet place beneath words, beneath memories, beneath even dreams. The dream keeper hums. You cannot hear the tune, but you feel it like a lullaby sung to your soul. You are not asked to sleep. You are allowed to. You are not told to let go. You are offered the choice, and so you do. One breath. Like a feather drifting down, another breath. Like a boat easing from shore. A third breath. And you are no longer on the path, or by the lake, or in the garden. You are nowhere. You are everywhere. You are inside a dream that asks nothing of. You no tasks, no tests. No beginnings or ends. Only being. Only stillness, only rest. The dream keeper fades, not because they leave, but because they are now part of you. Their lullaby continues, now echoing from inside your chest. A rhythm of peace woven into your breath. And somewhere, far beyond where sound can reach, a final star blinks out, not in sorrow, in completion. You have arrived. You have returned. You are home. And sleep welcomes you in silence. And now, there is no more story to tell. Asterisk. Not because it ends, but because you've entered the part of the journey where stories no longer need words, only breath, only quiet. You are floating now, not through space, but through stillness, the kind of stillness that carries you, that rocks. You softly, like a lullaby cradled in wind. You are weightless. You are timeless. Around you, the night deepens, not into darkness, but into velvet light, soft as whispered thoughts, gentle as the hush before dawn. Your senses, once alive with forest air, glowing lakes, and distant melodies, have now quieted. Not gone, simply resting. The air around you is cool and soft and endless. It smells of dreams you've forgotten, but always carried. It feels like a memory you never lived, but always missed. Somewhere beyond the veil of awareness, the garden still blooms. The lantern still glows. The dream keeper still hums. Yet, you are here. Not there. Not anywhere. Just within. Your heartbeat has slowed to the rhythm of still water. Your breath has joined the rhythm of the stars. Your thoughts have folded like petals in nightfall. And there is nothing left to do. Nowhere left to go, because everything is here. In this moment. In this rest. In this quiet. And so, as your breath continues, soft and long, deep and slow, let your body drift. Let your mind float. Let your soul rest. You are safe. You are held. You are home. And the dream will hold you for as long as you need. Good night, dreamer. Sleep deeply. Sleep gently. Sleep well. Asterisk.